Welcome to one of the greatest paintings ever painted by a Briton. About Britain. Why do we love this painting so much? Let's dive in. Paintings are incredible sources of story, drama and meaning, and they're so much easier to enjoy when we know a little bit more about them. This is the Fighting Temeraire, painted by Turner in 1838. The full title of the painting gives us a bit more of the story. The Fighting Temeraire tugged to her last berth to be broken up. An old ship being tugged away. Literally tugged, get it? Anyway, what looks like a bit of boat traffic on the Thames is in fact describing one of the most crucial turning points, not just in British, but in world history. Allow me to explain. This is the Forest of Dean in England, a large oak forest meant to be used to make sailing ships for the British Navy in the days when boats were still made out of wood. The forest had witnessed political strife as forcible acts of Parliament drove farmers and tenants off their own land to satiate the needs of the British Navy for wood. The Temeraire itself had taken over 5,000 oak trees to build. However, and this is a huge however, something immense happened between many of these trees being planted and them growing to full size. Something that meant these trees would never be needed. The event was the Industrial Revolution. During the 19th century, Britain became the first nation in the world to industrialise. Steam and metal replaced wood, literally in the case of the British Navy, where new ironclads, as they were known, were turning the Navy's wooden ships into museum pieces. The Temeraire itself was a hero ship for the British, known by the whole nation. It had fought valiantly at Trafalgar, capturing 2 French ships. However, it had never seen battle again and had sat for years moored off the Thames as a storing vessel. Time had caught up with the Temeraire. The day came when the ship was sold and sent to the knacker's yard for scrap. A master painter worth his salt would recognise a great meme when he heard about it. Turner heard about the event and leapt at the chance to paint a piece of British history. This was the chance for Turner to paint the passing of an old age, or the dawn of a new. Is this a sunrise or a sunset? The Temeraire on the left reflects a past and reflects it in a ghostly light. It's as if the boat is already a ghost ship, lit possibly by this tiny moon up here. All of which suggests we're at a sunset, the passing of an old age, to be saluted. Which means the tug, on the other hand, represents the future, industrialisation. Steel, black, smoke, power, and it carries the more powerful colours in the painting. Less of the ghostly whites and blues of the Temeraire on the left side, the moon side. On the right side, the sun side, the canvas burns with a redder intensity. So, is this about the dawn of a future age or the sunset of a past one? The Temeraire, draped in ghostly light, is beautiful no doubt, but Turner could have emphasised more ugliness from the tug, and he doesn't. And I think this is the most curious and satisfying thing about the painting, how Turner could draw beauty from the modern and the potentially ugly. Look at the sea here, and the colour that comes from the reflections of oil on the Thames. This is pollution in action, and yet it's beautiful. Like this incredible sun, which is really, excuse the pun, the star of the show. Just look how thickly Turner has applied paint here. It's extraordinary. Please, if you get the chance to see this painting in real life, check out the application of paint around this sun. It's absolutely extraordinary. Far more extraordinary in person than I can show you here. And the colour of the water. Turner seems to draw beauty from both sides of the canvas. He's really turning down the commentary and just turning up the beauty. Weathermen have chimed in, and apparently this is more likely to be a sunset, and that fits better with the overall theme of the painting, the passing of an old age. But there is that contrasting theme here also underneath, the introduction of the industrial new. In a way, this was the perfect painting for the hugely experienced Turner, who was already 64 when he painted this. The subject matter was ideal for him. Boats, the sea, weather, light, the sun, and then there's the narrative, the story of a funeral for a piece of British history. This was the final passing of a hero of Trafalgar, a ship known and loved by the British nation. The painting would have meant a lot to the nation back then. In fact, it still means something to us now, here in the 21st century, since in 2005 this was voted Britain's greatest painting. Which says so much about how we British love history, but how we also understand the complexity of the relationship between the past and the future. How we don't just look back with simple sentimentality. The Industrial Revolution caused hardship across the nation, but there was a necessity in the transition. This is a painting that looks two ways at the same time, and I suspect that's why we British as a nation love it so much. Turner always refused to sell this painting, bequeathing it to the nation on his death with the explicit stipulation in his will that it had to be exhibited to the public, in public, for free. So, Turner knew the value of his own painting, free and for everyone. Please like and subscribe.